thank you all for being here today. This is a really important meeting, a really important webinar, because we are all here for the services that we aspire to offer to our end customers. However, it's the how that is truly important, because this is how you will truly be able, using the automation of Interworks Cloud Marketplace, to offer more and more services and be more efficient and more effective, and be able to handle more orders and more customers. So that's why it is really important that you're here today. So let's begin with the presentation, which practically will describe to you what we will see today during the demo, and afterwards we'll have a demo. By the end of the meeting, we will address any questions that you can send in the chat, and we will give you the answers that you need. Okay, so I won't hesitate no more. I'll share my screen. Yeah, and okay. So, welcome to one of our webinars, dear partners. This is a webinar of Interworks Cloud, a client company. We are your value-added cloud distributor, and we are here today, and we will be unlocking the Interworks Cloud Marketplace for you, for our esteemed partners. My name is Michelangelo Nicolaidis. I'm the Cloud Platform Partner Consultant at Interworks Cloud, and I'm here to help you move to the cloud the smart way. So how you will do that? Through our Interworks Cloud Marketplace for resellers, which you can say it's nice. Some would say it's cool. What I say is that this is a must-have, really, because you cannot go onwards otherwise. Traditional ordering methods by phone, okay, still exist, but we need to take it to the next level. Although we don't stay here, there's more. Because you can also, through our solution, publish your own white label self-service management portal. Now this is for your customers, so they can self-serve themselves. So what do you say? Smart. And I believe that Tywin Lannister would also agree with you. Do you want to know what I say? I say that with the white label self-service management portal, you're 2 steps ahead of the competition. Without further ado, let's dig in. Interworks Cloud Marketplace, this is where you log in. You get access to a number of services. There are more than 2,300 SKUs of services from more than 15 vendors here. So you log into the marketplace really fast, and you start ordering services. You enjoy automated billing, invoicing, and recurring payments for those services. So what you do basically is you add orders on behalf of your end customers. You can access the invoices and the orders you produced, and also you can manage subscriptions and assets of the service that you purchase for those customers. And for services from Microsoft, Google, Acronis, Impossible Cloud, and Dropsuite, the provisioning of the service is fully automated, which means that upon checkout, the service is ready to use. And when it comes to the Microsoft ecosystem, you can manage the service from within the marketplace. So it's an end-to-end solution. You can manage the service and assign purchase licenses to the end users of your customers. And then, of course, we have our white label service management portal. So each and every one of you can actually, through the same automation, through the same interface, publish a fully white label self-service management portal, which you can give to your customers. So now the customer can log in to your portal, and they can self-serve themselves. They can add services to the basket, and those services would be with your own pricing applied, your unique pricing applied, and the customer can now manage users and licenses and subscriptions by themselves. Of course, you retain the execution right for this order, so it's you who executes the order, so that you have complete control of what's happening in your cloud business, and you approve the new customers. And you select which services you want to publish to your customers, so you don't have to publish everything right away that we offer. You will publish only the ones that make sense for you, and you can apply, of course, your unique pricing to those selected services. And you can give access to your customers, to some of your existing customers, or have them register for you. And what's extra here is that you can apply special prices for your customers, which means that each customer can have unique pricing policy applied through this white label self-service management portal. You can apply a custom URL so it's fully white label. You can connect your Google Analytics account so you can run campaigns and get new audiences to that marketplace. And no need to say, you can apply your own custom brand identity, everything, your logo, your banners, your colors, your font family, everything to this portal. As you can see in my slides, it doesn't end here. You can also customize it even more by adding third-party JavaScript plugins for further functionalities through the marketplace, through your marketplace. And you customize the corporate notifications that are dispatched to the customer automatically by our platform. And in the end, it doesn't end here again, because you can also get access to the APIs that we offer, that our platform offers, to our billing API. So you can start building an integration you may need with an accounting software or any ERP or back-end software your company uses in order to have full connectivity among and between systems. I don't know if there are any questions. We will see the questions afterwards. Now it's time for the demo. So I will open the interworks cloud marketplace, which is here. There are four pillars in our demo today. The first one is how we can find the services, so how we can search through the catalog of interworks cloud. The second pillar is the ordering process. How do we add services to basket, and what do we need to do in order to order those services? Easy steps, trust me. The third step is how we manage. The third pillar is how we manage the services by themselves and create users and assign licenses to end user. And the fourth step, which I believe is one of the most, let's say, dire and daily and most important, is the management of billing, of subscriptions, of invoices, of all these things. We will take all these four pillars step by step, plus one, which will be the white label portal by the end of the call. So what we see here is our marketplace for resellers, apps.interworkscloud.com. This means that in this marketplace, your customer doesn't have access. It's only you who log in. I'm already logged in, of course, and purchase services and manage services on behalf of the end customer. So this is, as I say, the must-have that you need to do. And you need to get in here because this marketplace offers you a number of automations that will make your daily work life easier, and you can focus on the real things that actually matter business-wise. So to begin with, in the homepage, you can see some of the services that we offer from some of the vendors that are available through our marketplace. Of course, you have the search bar here to search for services, or you can get your recent review or type in any name of a service that you want to actually purchase this time. First things first, though, you need to state first for which customer are you shopping for. So I'm going to click to that, and this is a pop-up where either I select a customer from my existing customers list, or I can create a new customer through the portal. For the sake of this demo, we will not create a new customer. It's very easy. You open a pop-up, type in the details of your customers, and continue the purchase with that new customer that you created. I will select an existing one, and let's say that we are purchasing for a customer named Chromatex. Okay, so I click on continue. Now the marketplace will know that I'm purchasing for Chromatex, and you will see it here. And now I'm able to browse through the services. You can do that in two ways, either by the search bar, as I've shown you before. And the second way is to go through apps and services, where all the services of our cloud catalog are there, and use our filters to navigate through the vendors that we offer. So you can see all the vendors here: Acronis, Anydesk, Blackwell, Google, Impossible Cloud, Microsoft, Nano Systems, Nord Security, Start, Comply, Threaddown, Vembu, Ninja One, and you can select its vendor, and the services will come to you. And you can also further sort the search either by popularity, newest first, alphabetically, price low to high, or high to low. I'm not going to use this page because I have already one of the services recently viewed in my search bar. So I'm going to click on the service. This will take me to the service page, where I can see the product that I'm trying to purchase, and I'm going to add it to my basket. Okay, so when you add a product to the basket, you need first to configure the subscription you will be creating through this portal. So the first thing before we go to the basket is to state to the system, do we want to create a monthly subscription or a yearly one? And of course, accordingly to what we select here, the pricing of subscription changes. Let's say we want to go with a monthly one for the sake of this demo. And then you also need to specify the quantity. So how many licenses does the customer require? Let's say we want to have 2 licenses. So since we're ready here, you can leave the friendly name empty, because our system will automatically give a name to this subscription, which will be the name of the customer followed by the name of the product. And I believe for 99% of the cases, this is more than okay. So I will click on proceed to checkout, and now the checkout process begins. The first step during the checkout process is where I need to check if everything is in its right place. So as you can see, our system now finalizes the prices based on the country that the customer is located. And you will know when you reach this page that from that point onwards, everything that you see here, pricing wise, is the actual price we will charge you for this purchase. Now, I added only 2 licenses in a subscription. Why do you see here another 2 licenses? Because I was in that marketplace before in a previous session. Okay, so in that session, I added also 2 licenses, and those licenses remained. So you need to be very careful prior to executing an order to make sure that everything that is in your basket, you actually want it for that customer that you're purchasing for. If you don't want something, you will simply click on the bin and delete the item from the basket. Okay, and there are a few things in this page that we need to talk about to explain to you what you are seeing. And once I get my page, I will do that as well. So basically, in this page, you see the unit price according to the country of the customer. You also see the number of licenses. You can check the order execution, and you select if you want the order execution to be immediate, so happen now, or you can schedule it if you want at a later date. So let's say 1st of May, so that we can align our subscriptions with the month's duration. Okay, so you can do both. You can also see a discount here. This is not your discount, dear partners. This is already the wholesale price that you're seeing here. This discount refers only to promotions. So something that is happening, let's say for this month, or it's an active promotion, and this product and the quantity you added here is eligible so that you get a promotion. This price, as I say again, is a wholesale price. So I scroll down. I need to agree to the terms of use. By the way, you see here two fields. These fields are for those services: Acronis Classic, Anydesk, Impossible, Cloudthread, Down, Bamboo, Node Security, Blackboard, and Start Comply. It's not for Microsoft. It's not for Acronis distribution. It's only for those services because those services are manually delivered. So for those services, the vendor requires from us that we will manually deliver to you and your end customer the product, the end customer's users details, the end customer email, and the name of the end customer. Okay. For Microsoft and all the auto provision services, you leave this empty only if it's stated here. You fill in those two fields. So since I agreed to the terms of use, I'm proceeding to checkout. This will take me to the second step of the checkout process, which is a very, let's say, typical step in the sense that you need here to check if your billing information, the billing address, the billing entity where we invoice you, or the bill to contact, the email that receives the invoices is correct. If it is not, you can change the details in your account page, in my account page. I will proceed to the next step. And here, this step appears only for the automatically provisioned services: Microsoft, Acronis, distribution, Google Impossible Cloud, and Dropsuite. And for each vendor of those 5, this step is different because you need to synchronize the account entity that you've created through our marketplace with the account, with the tenant of that customer in each vendor. So what we do here, since this is a Microsoft Cloud service, is that we need to provide to the platform, to the system, the domain prefix of the customer. And in the first order, we also need to provide our MPN ID. For Acronis, this is a different, there are different fields. For Google, there are also different fields. So for each vendor, the step is different. In the case of Microsoft, we need to provide the domain prefix of the customer and our reseller MPN ID only in the first order, because as you see here, the system stores it and we don't need to type it in every order we make. Now, I say domain prefix. There are two cases here. The first case is the easy one, is the one that the customer has didn't previously purchased services from Microsoft, so they don't have a tenant. In this case, you add here a desired domain prefix, for example, the name of your customer, .onmicrosoft.com, and you click on checkout. If this domain prefix is available in the Microsoft ecosystem, then by clicking on checkout, the tenant is created automatically through our system in Microsoft, and you get all the required delegations in order to start purchasing services for this customer and start managing services and subscriptions for this customer. The second case here is that the customer was previously purchasing Microsoft licenses, so this means they have an existing tenant. In this case, you need to get the domain prefix from your customer, add it here, and also click on that box and authorize the customer, which means you need to synchronize the existing tenant with our marketplace so that you are able and you are delegated to add orders on behalf of the customer for Microsoft services and manage the services through our marketplace. If you have questions, because I understand these things can be tricky, we can discuss those questions afterwards. So once I click on checkout, the licenses are provisioned and I can manage the services right away. Once I also I click on checkout and I start having consumptions here, I start having some important data that I can where I can monitor my cloud business under Interworks Cloud under Balkanworks, and I can do that in the page of dashboard. So through the dashboard, you get access to a number of widgets around your business under interworks cloud. So in the first widget, you get your monthly cost, so the invoices that were issued in the current month for you added one by one. The account balance, overdue payments, active subscriptions. Then you also get a widget with the product mix, which is actually a percentage of all the services that you have purchased from us for your customers on the previous month, and you can go even 3 months ago and see the mix for the 3-month period. If you scroll down historical costs, this is again a report that gets you the actual consumption in euro. So you see actual amounts of euro here per service. Again, you can go back up to 12 months and see the consumption for the previous year, and you can even select one service and actually check what did you spend per service. So this is a really useful widget for you to monitor how you did with a particular service. Subscription churn, so which means the new created subscriptions or the canceled subscriptions each month. Latest orders, so you can access your latest orders for all of your customers. Expiring assets, trials, and subscriptions. So our platform sends dispatch automatic notifications for the subscriptions that are expiring. For the monthly subscriptions, 5 days before the expire. For the yearly ones or with bigger billing cycles, we dispatch 2 notifications. One 30 days before the expiration date, one 5 days before the expiration date. But in the case that you miss that notification, we also bring the annual or bigger billing cycle subscriptions here 30 days or less before they expire. So one good thing to check once you log into the marketplace is to come to the dashboard and check if there are any expiring subscriptions that you need to take care, and discuss with your customer how you will treat the expiration, if you're going to renew, and all those things. Okay, so now we covered those 2 things, the ordering process and how we can monitor our consumption through interworks. The next pillar in our webinar is how we manage the service on behalf of the end customer. So to do that, you need to go to My Workspace here, where in essence you will find all the services you've purchased for all of your customers. So for each one of your customers, you will have a respective customer space, and you can click on Manage Customer. This will open the customer's space in our marketplace. You will see the services you've purchased for them. Now I have only Microsoft. You will have more than Microsoft, I suppose, Acronis, Google. So for every vendor, you will have a separate box here, and you will be able to click on Setup and configure the actual service for your customer. When it comes to Microsoft Online Services licenses, if you click on Setup, you can do this management of the licenses from within our marketplace, which means that through this page, you will be able to see your customers' licenses, these customers' licenses. If I scroll down, the licenses will load here, and I can see all the licenses of Microsoft that I've purchased for this customer through the interworks cloud marketplace, how many of those are active, assigned, or available. I can also get the pre-existing users in my customer's tenant here. And what I can do here is I can manage the licenses and go ahead and assign the license I just purchased to an end user. I just need to toggle on an update. If I want, I can deassign a license from a user that has it and click on update. And I can assign it to another user because this is what I need to do for my customer. And if your customer doesn't have any users, of course, no need to say, you can click on add user and create the user that your customer requires. You can let them create the first name, last name, all the details of the user here. And you can auto-generate password, send password to email upon completion, and force the user to change the password. you can assign a role. So is this a standard user? Is the global admin? Is it the customized admin? And as a third step, to assign licenses to that user. After you create the user and assign licenses, other than managing licenses for them, you can reset the password. So this is a request we get every now and then from our customers. You can edit the user info and delete a user. All those things by your customer request. So this makes you an actual managed services reseller provider through this workspace. Why the workspace is important? Some would say I can do this same thing through the Microsoft portal, the admin portal of Microsoft. It is important because to do that through the Microsoft portal, you need to have access to the admin credentials of your customers. So not all of the cases are the same. We don't have it for all of our customers. And even if you have the credentials, you would need to open incognito windows for each and every one of your customers to do this. Through the marketplace, you don't need to open any other incognito window. You can do all these things for all of your customers from within the marketplace in a simple way. So this is why the workspace is really important, because it can help you actually assign the service to the customer after the purchase. And this covers up how we manage the services, the actual service, licenses, or any other services we purchase on behalf of the end customer. The next pillar of our demonstration is the billing page. So how do we manage now our billing relationship with those customers? So through the billing page, you can see your overdue invoices, outstanding invoices. Those are pro forma invoices. If you want to access your actual invoices, you would have to go to user settings, my account, and here is your profile and your company's account, where you can also update your info. If you scroll down, you can update your billing address and your bill to contact that receives the invoices. And if you go to the documents list, here you will be receiving your official invoices. Of course, our finance department will dispatch those invoices the day of the order, or at least the next day after the order. So you can have, again, two places where you can reach out and access the invoices that we produce on your behalf. Back to the billing page. Those are pro forma invoices. These are your latest orders. The most important thing you will need to do here is to actually manage the active subscriptions and assets, but it's subscriptions that you need to truly manage here, because assets, we didn't say this before, are the perpetual software subscriptions from Microsoft. So with let's say no large billing cycles or one-time purchase products, but the subscriptions are every month or every year. So those needs to be taken care of, to be managed by you on behalf of your end customer. So I clicked on active subscriptions. In this page, I see all my active subscriptions. This is a preset by the platform, by our marketplace. And of course, I can select and type in the customer whose subscriptions I want to manage. I will click on filter. So now I only have the two active subscriptions of my customer Abraco. Okay, since we're here, in this page, you can see all the subscription details, even in the list view. Okay, but the most important, and you can also click in the page and see more details. But even through the list view, you have actions that you can do through your subscriptions. And what are those actions? You purchase the license, and then the license expires in 4 days. Okay, so you need to call your customer and say, dear customer, what do we do? Do you want to renew the subscription? The customer says yes. In this case, it's easy, because by default, all the subscriptions created in the interworks cloud marketplace are with auto renewal enabled. So if you leave it as it is, it will be auto renewed in the same billing cycle, so monthly or yearly, depending on the subscription, with the same quantity. If the customer doesn't want to renew the subscription, what you will do upon his request is that you will come through the action page and click on Disable Auto Renew. This means that on the 28th of April, for this particular subscription, I will not have an active subscription. It will be disabled, so the customer will not have access to the service on the 28th of the month. Okay, you can again enable it again if in the meantime the customer changes their mind. But you need to be really careful applying the actual customer's request through our actions. Now, there is a third possibility when a subscription is about to be renewed, that the customer wants to renew the subscription, but doesn't want either to renew the subscription in the same quantity or in the same term. In these cases, what you will need to do is to click on Manage Renewal. This will open this pop-up, and you can select to renew, to change the number of licenses that can be renewed. For example, from 1 license to 3 licenses, or from 10 licenses to 7 licenses, which makes more sense. And you can also change the term from a monthly subscription to a yearly subscription, and vice versa. Okay, so you can say why to change the term. Maybe you purchase 1 license for the customer to test it, and then the customer actually wants to renew. He wants to renew more licenses because they have 3-5 people in their company. Okay, so they want to give them Microsoft 365 to all of them. And here is where you get in and you say, look, if you go with the yearly price, you get a further discount from Microsoft. Do you want to convert the monthly subscription to yearly? The customer says yes. So you will come here, change the quantity from 1 to 5 to 3, and the term from month to 12 months, and click on Submit. The changes will take effect upon subscription's renewal date, which states here that is on the 28th of April. You click on Submit, and once it is renewed, it will be renewed with those terms here. Of course, this request is on the page, on the subscription page. If the customer changes their mind in the meantime, you can cancel the request. Okay. We covered the renewal scenarios. Let's cover one of the most common scenarios. The customer called you. They requested to purchase a license of a service that they wanted at that point, and then they decide that they need more licenses of the same product. So in this case, you don't need to search for the service again and go from the search bar or the apps and services page, find the service and add it to basket. You will come to the existing subscription of the product that your customer requested 1 more license, and from the actions you will click on Buy Licenses. You will state here the number of extra licenses that this customer wants to add to the existing subscription, and click on Submit, and this will take you through the checkout process. But in this case, those extra 2 licenses will be added to this subscription here. And the important part here is that you will be charged for the remaining days within the existing billing cycle. A second perk is that especially if this is a yearly subscription, is that you get charged pro rata with the price that you purchased a year ago or 6 months ago. So for the remaining 6 months, you will be charged with what price you purchased 6 months ago, and not the price that is active today. So this keeps you safe. And of course, when this subscription will be renewed, it will be renewed with all the licenses that it has. So again, you can manage the renewal. Now, we don't limit ourselves there. You have also the ability to, especially with Microsoft, to upgrade the subscription. So you purchase for the customer a business basic license, but it's not enough. They want to upgrade to a premium or a standard edition of the same product. So you can click on Upgrade the subscription. This will give you this pop-up where you can select from all the available upgrade paths to which product you want to go. For example, if I select business standard, I select the product, and there I create a new subscription, or if I already have a business standard, I can transfer the basic license to this business standard subscription I already have. When I create a new subscription, this new subscription will inherit the attributes of the pre-existing subscription. So it will inherit the billing cycle and the end date. Okay. If I add the licenses to an existing subscription, then the license that actually is transferred, upgraded to, and goes to an existing subscription inherits the attributes of the pre-existing subscription of the product. Okay, so the business standard in this case. And of course, I specify here the quantity, the number of licenses I want to upgrade. In this case, again, you click on proceed to checkout, and this takes you to the checkout process. So it creates an order, and you will receive through your invoice, two types of charges. One, it will be a debit charge for the days in the billing cycle for the business standard subscription, and you will also receive a credit for the days of the business basic that you didn't use. So everything billing wise is crystal clear through the invoice. You don't need to worry of losing money or how this will be billed. Everything happens automatically through the interworks cloud marketplace. Since we're discussing upgrades, you all know that when it comes to the Microsoft ecosystem, okay, to other vendors, this is, let's say, a little more loose. But with Microsoft, things are strict. So Microsoft has a cancellation window after the initial purchase or renewal of 7 days, 7 times 24 hours, actually. This is not valid for upgrades. So once you proceed to checkout and finish the checkout process with an upgrade, you cannot cancel the upgraded license. So you need to wait until the subscription billing cycle ends and disable the auto renew for that subscription. Okay. And since we're discussing cancellation, the last action we did not discuss here is the cancel the subscription. So as I said, since this is a Microsoft subscription, with Microsoft you can cancel and receive refund for a subscription within 7 days after the initial purchase or the renewal of a subscription. So again, we need to be very careful with these things. We can cancel some of the seats or all of the seats of a subscription, but we need to be really careful and don't let the 7 days pass in case a mistake took place and we need to go a step back. Okay. And with this, we covered all the actions revolving around the subscription. What I want to share with you is that other than our systemic filters, all subscription, active, suspended, cancelled, trials, you can create a custom view from here, which means that you will you have filters in all the columns of this page. You can say I want a subscription that the name contains or does not contain or is equal to Microsoft, for example. You can say I want the customers to be Abraco and Acme, and filter this again. And then you can go do all the other stuff and save this. Okay, enter a name, save the view as you enter a name, Abraco and Acme Microsoft Active Subscriptions or whatever you want to name it. You click on OK. And once you do that, the filter, the view, the custom view is saved here in the drop down below our systemic filters. So for the sake of this demo, I have created a filter that gives me the active subscriptions of an existing customer, and also another filter that gives me the Microsoft Active subscriptions for all of my customers. You can use this according to what is your need. The reason for this automation is to help you not do more and more steps every time. Since you did it one time, you have it saved and you can easily reach out the view that you want. Of course, any view of the page can be exported to an Excel format through this button. Now, we've finished the pillar of the billing and how we manage the actual subscriptions of the customer. A small tip: some of you may be small and medium businesses, some of you may be larger companies. In any case, what we want you to do once you get access to the marketplace is that if there are other users from within your company that would need to have access to the interworks cloud marketplace, go to users from the menu and create a new user for your colleague so that they can have their unique login and you don't have to log in with the same credentials. Okay, so you add the name, the last name, email of your colleague, the default language and date format. And here in the user permission settings, you either select to create an admin user. So this means they have access everywhere in the marketplace, or you can create a user and give them specific permissions, accessibility in the portal. So in each user role, you can see to which modules of the menu they have access and what actions they can do. Okay, so we covered the whole things that take place on the interworks cloud marketplace. Now it's time for the bonus part of this presentation, which is the white label management portal of your own. So this portal can look like this. It will be your logo, your colors in the buttons, in the font family, your font family that you select, your banners, and your products of choice to be published with your own unique prices applied. So how do you do that? Through the marketplace of interworks, you click on the button from the menu that says My Storefront, the store button. If I click on that, this will take me on the back office of this white label portal. So this is a portal where your customers can do a number of things. First things first, they can see your catalog, okay, the services that you actually offer. So you can use it as a storefront, as a selling point. If a customer asks what kind of services do you offer to me, you can say, get into that page and see for yourself. So this is the first and most basic, let's say, use of that white label portal. The second use is that you can actually give them login, so access to that portal, and you can enable them order by themselves, which means they can add orders to the basket. Those orders are added to the basket, the customer completes the checkout, but the order is not automatically executed because we want to put you on top of all this. We want you to be in complete control of what your customers are doing. So every time a customer submits an order through your white label portal, you receive the order here, and you are the one that clicks on the order and select if you want to actually execute the order or not. The same with the customers that click on register. You select which leads you can approve to become customers and give them access to the portal. Okay. So this is the dashboard, the initial page. You have MyCustomers here, so you can access through here all of your customers. And here is the customer list. And if you want, for example, to give access to one of your existing customers, you can simply find the customer, Acme Protections, and say, add a storefront user. Okay, and you can create the user, and your end customer will receive an email in order to activate the user. And you can dig into each customer's page. If you want, you can toggle off the order approval required. We don't suggest that unless it's truly necessary, because once you execute an order, actual charges occur. You can change the details, the info of the customer, and update. You can create storefront users. You can see the customer's orders, either submitted by you via the interworks cloud storefront or submitted by the end customer through your white label portal, which in this case would have a total amount without tax, and an icon in this column that when we hover on it would say ordered by end customer. So you are able to get those in Excel format and segregate the ones you ordered and the ones the customer ordered. If I scroll down in the customers page, you can see what I said in my initial presentation, that you can apply special prices per customer. So this means for each of those services that you see here, you can add a new service, of course. You see the purchase price, so the price you purchase from us, the retail price, the price you select to sell, which can be the SRP, the proposed price by the vendor, and you can define a special price with a unique pricing method per product. Okay. And if I scroll down, again, you will see that for the automatically provisioned services, you have also the vendor synchronization widget. As you see, this end customer is synchronized with Microsoft, and with Dropship, I can synchronize it also with Acronis here. So this will give me the service detail step without me needing to order an actual service, so I can do it prior to ordering. Now, if I expand the menu, you can see the MyProducts page. Here is where you define now which services you want to publish to your customers. So as you can see, we offer more than 2,300 SKUs services to you. Okay, out of those, you select which ones to make listed, which means to make public for your customers to see and add orders and manage. Okay, so you will select from our categories, or you can search for a product here, which service you want to add to your catalog. Let's select this Microsoft product here. Either I click on add to my catalog, or if I click on more products, I select more products, I can click on add selected to my catalog. So all the products I select will be added at once. And here in this product, I can set either the distributor suggested retail price, the SRP price. So you can see here in this matrix, the purchase price, the price you purchase and the price you sell. Or you can set a markup on the price you purchase from us. So on the wholesale price, and say, for example, I want this to be 15%, or I want this to be 20%, to be more expensive, let's say, than Microsoft. It's up to you to select to which prices you will publish your services. And of course, you can select to wipe out one of those two billing cycles. So you can only sell monthly or annual subscriptions for this product. Once you click on OK, this product is added to the listed products, where now here you see your published catalog. So only the services you select to bring forth to your white label self-service management portal. And you see also with which pricing methods you selected to publish those services. For example, with this in this service from Vembu, I selected a markup of 24% up from the purchase price. For this Microsoft service, I selected to publish the distributor's suggested retail price. All these things, of course, you can edit afterwards. So you can apply different policies by edit pricing. And if you want, you can also remove a selected service from the catalog. Once you're finished with your changes, you always need to click on Publish Catalog in order that your catalog gets up to date with what your preference at the moment are. And what we didn't see is the settings. So you will ask me, okay, Michael, we saw what you did there. How do I set it up? It's pretty easy. Through the settings, you open the storefront settings. This is where you define the storefront browser title, what appears on the tab of the browser. You can also apply, as I said in the beginning, your own custom URL, so it can be completely a white label. You can link your Google Analytics. You can select the default language you want for the portal. And here is where you select if you want to actually give anonymous access to visitors. So you can have this public and show the services. If you don't want to do this and only give it to existing customers, you keep this off. So even if someone actually gets the link, they will only see the login page and they will not be able to log in unless you give them access. But if you want to use it as a storefront, you will at least have to enable the anonymous access so that they can see the services. Now, if you're working with SRP so that those are published prices by the vendors, you can also show the prices for them. And self-registration, you enable it from here and 2FA. Now, in order to rebrand the marketplace according to your brand identity, you will need to go to storefront settings, rebranding. Here is where you add your logo, you add your banners, you select the colors, and you can even add the hex number if you have it from your graphic designer in order to be fully aligned with your existing brand identity. You select the font family from the Google font families that are public to all sites, the size of the letters and the color of the letters in the same fashion. You select the color of the header and the color of the buttons, the terms of use, the trademark text. You can even have a contact us page with a banner of your own and your company details here, even a map link from Google. So it's a complete site. And of course, as I said in my presentation, in the advanced settings tab, you can add header in the header or the footer JavaScript code in order to add third-party JavaScript plugins for additional functionalities to your storefront header or footer. Okay, and then what you need to do once you save the changes, click on publish, is a classic CMS logic here. So every change you do, click on publish in order to see it published. And of course, this system, since your customers are able to order service and then they are able to manage the services, once they log in, they have Workspace and they have billing, so they can manage services and licenses and they can manage subscriptions. So everything they do in this portal, our system dispatches automatic notifications to your customers. Those notifications need to be dispatched by you, because remember, you are the owner of this white label marketplace. So what you need to do is come to settings, notifications, set up an email here, customize the email template. So add the image of your logo to the header for starters. And then if you go to notification, you expand the two basic categories and you need to enable those notifications. I will open one notification so that you can do what you can edit here. All those are editable. So if I click on edit, this is the customer order confirmation. This is sent to the customer when they check out their basket through this white label portal of yours. So as you can see, it's fully editable. You can change the text. You can add yourself or a corporate email in the BCC. You can insert parameters from our system to the notification, for example, the customer name in the subject to make it more intimate. You can, of course, revert to default to what was there before you do the changes. You can have a preview of the email, send a test email, and save the template. And as I said before, through the settings, you also get access to our billing API. Okay, so our billing API is this one, the billing API of the platform vendor we use to publish our marketplace. So you need to have the version 3 for resellers, and here you can access all the entities that you can create API calls on. Okay, and you can see here what you can do. So what you do is you come here to the application users, create an application user, and then go and authorize that user using those details here in order to be able to start working on the integration. To return back to the marketplace of Interworks and start purchasing or managing orders on behalf of your customers, you need to expand the menu and click on Interworks storefront. This will get you back to our marketplace for you, and you can keep working. So pretty much that was it. Now let's have 10 or 15 minutes. I don't know if there are any questions. So guys, I do appreciate if you can help me with that.
Hello, everyone. At the moment, there aren't any questions in the Q&A section.
Okay.
And there aren't any in the chat. You have been very analytical, but perhaps Maggie would like to add some things.
Yes, I don't know, Maggie, do you want to explain some things better? And if you didn't understand anything, please ask. We are here to help.
Yes, and if anybody needs to get access to the marketplace if he doesn't have, please contact me. I will give the access.
Yes, and what I wanted to add to that, Maggie is your person there, so feel free to contact her for everything. We are the team backing up Maggie, so in
Yes.
case
Thank
you
you.
need, well, I'm always at your back, Maggie, and I don't mean this in a bad manner. Feel free to reach out at any point. Feel free to ask anything you need to ask to Maggie. There are no stupid questions. There are only things that we can get our hands to, and through the automation and through good collaboration, which I believe we already have, we will be able to get there. So we're here for you. We thank you for being part of this webinar. Of course, you will receive the recording of the webinar afterwards. And I don't know, maybe the presentation in the Bulgarian language, in the English language, I don't know. We'll see about that. You can reach out to Maggie and me in our personal emails for any questions. Do not hesitate, please.
Yes. Thank you, Michael. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. I hope it
Thank
was
you.
clear enough for everyone,
Yes,
and
yes.
that we will start having actual transacting partners through the marketplace.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.